Speaking of Braun Breaker, let's address the elephant in the room that nobody wants to talk about. This kid is being set up to fail, and it breaks my heart. You can't hand someone a world championship through interference and expect the fans to accept them as a legitimate champion. Look at what happened with virtually every other interference-aided champion in WWE history. They get booed, they get rejected, and eventually WWE has to pivot because the experiment failed. Breaker didn't ask for this. He probably wanted to win that title by pinning CM Punk clean in the middle of the ring and proving he belonged at that level. Instead, he's now going to have an asterisk next to his first world title reign for the rest of his career, and that's WWE's fault, not his. But here's the counterargument that I'm almost afraid to make because it goes against everything I just said. What if this is exactly what Braun Breaker needed? What if aligning with Brock Lesnar, even indirectly, gives him the rub that accelerates his rise to superstardom? Think about it. Every young star needs that moment where they're associated with a legend, where they get that stamp of approval from someone who matters. Batista had Triple H. Randy Orton had Evolution. Roman Reigns had The Rock's endorsement. Maybe Brock Lesnar choosing to help Braun Breaker, for whatever reason, is WWE's way of telling the audience, this kid is the guy, and even Brock Lesnar sees it. It's unconventional, it's controversial, but it might actually be genius if WWE can stick the landing on this storyline. Here's your second comment question, and I want detailed answers. Would you rather see Braun Breaker as a heel champion backed by Brock Lesnar, or should he immediately reject what happened and try to prove himself as a babyface? Explain your reasoning because this could go either direction. Now let's talk about what this means for the World Heavyweight Championship itself, because that title has nuclear on everyone involved. Imagine CM Punk cutting the kind of shoot-style promos he's famous for, calling out Brock Lesnar, calling out Braun Breaker, calling out WWE management for screwing him over again just like they always have. Imagine him turning into the bitter, angry version of himself that made him a megastar in the first place. Because happy, content CM Punk is good television. But angry CM Punk? That's must-see TV that drives ratings through the roof. And if WWE is smart, they'll let him off the leash and watch the magic happen. Let me throw some cold water on all of this speculation though, because we need to consider the realistic outcomes here. WWE might not do anything substantial with this storyline. Brock Lesnar might have been a one-night appearance, gotten his check, and gone back to his farm never to be seen again until next WrestleMania season. Braun Breaker might defend the title against random challengers for a few months before dropping it to whoever WWE decides is next. And CM Punk might just move on to a feud with a mid-carder while WWE pretends this title loss never happened. Because that's what WWE does sometimes. They create these incredible moments full of potential, and then they just abandon them. They move on to the next thing, leaving fans frustrated and wondering what could have been. But I don't want to be cynical about this. I want to believe that WWE knows what they're doing. I want to believe that Brock Lesnar's return means something significant. I want to believe that Braun Breaker holding that World Heavyweight Championship is the beginning of a legendary run. Let's examine the reactions from the WWE Universe, because that tells us everything we need to know. I want to believe that the CM Punk story isn't over. Social media that this setback is just fuel for an even better eventual with universal praise, because that's what wrestling is supposed to be about. Some people were furious that Punk got the struggle. Some people were ecstatic that Lesnar is back. Some people were confused about why Breaker needed help. That's good. That means people are invested, they're passionate, and they're going to tune in next week to see what happens next. Love it or hate it, WWE got people talking, and in the modern wrestling landscape where attention spans are microscopic and competition for eyeballs is fierce, that's the ultimate victory. Here's another layer to this situation that I haven't seen anyone else discussing yet. What if this is WWE's way of protecting CM Punk long-term? Bear with me on this because it sounds counterintuitive. If CM Punk had won the World Heavyweight Championship clean and then had to defend it every month against the young lions of WWE, he'd be exposed every time he couldn't keep up physically. The man is 46 years old, he's had multiple serious injuries, and Father Time is undefeated. But if he doesn't have the championship, if he's chasing it or feuding with legends like Brock Lesnar who also work part-time schedules, then WWE can protect his body while still keeping him prominently featured. It's not the story we wanted, but it might be the story that keeps CM Punk healthy and employed for years to come. Question 3 for the comment section, and this one's going to reveal a lot about how you view wrestling in terms of star power. Is it better for CM Punk to be a champion who's barely on TV due to injury concerns, everyone pays attention, or to be a consistent presence? He's a former UFC heavyweight champion. He's a genetic freak before you answer, and he's got an aura that maybe only 5 people in wrestling history have ever possessed. His mere presence elevates everyone around him, including Braun Breaker. Now Breaker is associated with Lesnar in fans' minds, whether that association is positive or negative. He's not just another young wrestler trying to make it anymore. He's the guy that Brock Lesnar chose to help, and that means something in the grand hierarchy of professional wrestling, even if the circumstances were shady. We also need to address the Paul Heyman situation because if he's involved, this story is about to get incredibly complicated. Heyman is currently associated with the Bloodline storyline. He's got history with both Punk and Lesnar, and he's the greatest manipulator in wrestling history. If he's weaving a web that connects all these pieces together, we're not seeing even 10% of the full picture yet. Imagine if this all leads to some kind of Survivor Series match where allegiances are tested. Let me hit you with a controversial opinion that's going to make some of you CM Punk, Brock Lesnar, Braun Breaker are all pieces on a chessboard that only Heyman understands. This kid has been working his tail off since the moment he stepped into NXT. He's improved at a rate that's frankly astonishing for someone so new to the business. He's had great matches with everyone he's faced. He's shown personality, charisma, and an intensity that reminds people of his Uncle Scott Steiner in the best possible way. So while the method of him winning the championship is questionable, the fact that he's champion is not. WWE chose the right guy, they just chose the wrong way to get him there. And maybe, just maybe, the controversial path makes this more memorable than a clean victory ever would have been. The long-term implications of this angle are absolutely massive. If Brock Lesnar sticks around for more than one appearance, we could be looking at a new faction forming. Imagine Lesnar as the enforcer, Breaker as the champion, and maybe even Paul Heyman as the mouthpiece. That's a group that could dominate WWE for the next year if booked correctly. Or, if Lesnar disappears and this was just a one-off, CM Punk's response then Breaker has to survive on his own with a massive target on his back career. From CM Punk, does he go everyone else babyface title rally against the injustice? Either path does he turn heel and become the bitter veteran who's tired of being disrespected? Does he demand a rematch and get it immediately? Or does WWE make him work his way back up to earn another opportunity? Each option creates different storytelling possibilities, and knowing CM Punk's track record, he's going to make whatever they give him must-watch television. The man is incapable of being boring, even when the circumstances aren't in his favor. What about the rest of the roster, though? How do guys like Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest, and everyone else in the World Heavyweight Championship picture feel about this? Do they rally behind CM Punk against the perceived injustice? Do they see Breaker as a paper champion and line up to take the title from him? Does this create a domino effect of chaos in the championship scene that makes every episode of Raw must-see television for the next few months? Because that's the potential here if WWE capitalizes on the chaos they've created. Final question for you in the comments, and I want everyone to answer the reality we have to accept. On a scale of whether we like it or not, how would you rate this booking decision with 1 being absolutely terrible and 10 being not always telling the perfect story? Drop your number Brock Lesnar returning and costing below. CM Punk the World Heavyweight Championship while crowning Braun Breaker is a moment that's going to be replayed in video packages for years. That's going to be referenced in promos. That's going to be debated by fans forever. Is it the story we wanted? Maybe not, but it's the story we got, and now we have to see where it leads. Because the beauty of professional wrestling is that today's disaster could be tomorrow's masterpiece if the follow-through is executed properly. So where do we go from here? We tune in every single week to see how this plays out. We watch CM Punk's promo segments with rapt attention. We observe Braun Breaker's championship defenses to see if he can prove himself worthy without assistance. We wait to see if Brock Lesnar appears again or if this was truly just a one-time attack. And through it all, we remember that wrestling is at its best when it makes us feel something, even if that feeling is anger or confusion or frustration. Because apathy is the true enemy of professional wrestling, and this angle has generated everything except apathy. Hit that like button if this breakdown made you think differently about the situation. Drop your answers to all the questions I asked throughout this video. WWE just pulled off covering every single development, and I'm sitting here with tears in my eyes and rage in my heart back because they kept the secret champion from all of US, and CM Punk is out. The woman doctor said would never wrestle again. This is going to be wild. The woman whose career was stolen from her at just 25 years old just walked through that curtain on the Netflix anniversary Raw, and the wrestling world will never be the same. But here's what's making me absolutely furious. WWE had us believing for 7 years that this moment would never happen. And now I'm questioning everything they've ever told us about career-ending injuries. Was this always the plan? Did they lie to us? And most importantly, is Paige's body actually ready for this? Or are we about to witness the most tragic comeback attempt in wrestling history? Buckle up, because what I'm about to reveal will shake your faith in everything WWE has told you. Let me set the scene, because if you weren't watching Raw live on Netflix, you missed the single most emotional moment in modern WWE history. The anniversary show was already stacked with legends, surprises, and nostalgia overload. We'd already seen returning stars. We'd already marked out multiple times. And then the arena went dark. That familiar scream echoed through the speakers. "This is my house," hit like a freight train, and 20,000 people lost their minds simultaneously. Paige walked out looking absolutely phenomenal, healthier than we've seen her in years. With Paige took a kick to the back during a live event just a nostalgia pop, and her entire world collapsed. This was a woman on a mission to reclaim the injury triggered a spinal condition she'd been dealing with for years. But let's pump the brakes for a second, because I need to take you back to her in-ring career was over. The night she was told by multiple doctors that one more hit to the neck could leave her paralyzed or worse. We watched her retire in an emotional segment. We saw her transition to a backstage role, and we accepted that we'd never see Paige wrestle again. WWE told us it was medically impossible. The wrestling media told us to let go of hope. And for 7 years, we mourned what could have been. So explain to me how she's standing in that ring right now. Explain to me how medical science suddenly evolved enough in 7 years to reverse a career-ending spinal injury. I'm not a doctor. I'm not pretending to be one, but I am someone who's followed this story obsessively since the day she retired. Either WWE has access to medical technology that's decades ahead of what the public knows about, or they've been working on Paige's comeback behind the scenes for years and kept it the best kept.